I would like to invite the participants of our next panel discussion to join me here on stage. Please enjoy the next session.
Welcome everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am István Oláh, head of Corporate Services Directorate of the Hungarian Innovation Agency, and I brought to you a short overview about the current situation and about the task and mission of the Hungarian Innovation Agency. And after that, we have two guests where we going to talk about the intervention points on regional level and the newly re-established territorial innovation platform. I would start with the challenges. The previous conversation being about the main challenges are facing mainly with China and the States. And on EU level, of course, we can easily identify a couple of points where we need to interfere, we need to improve, we need to grow. The productivity level is relatively low globally, and the investment in innovation and R&D still need to be improved. We are clearly see that the amount of the venture capital investments are lagging behind China and the States, which is the main catalyst for the high risk or medium risk level of R&D projects. The fragmentation of the single market is need to be tackled, and of course the digital transformation and the green transition are the two evergreen topics we need to handle. We have a really sound statistics. Only 4 of the top 5 tech companies are coming from Europe. Of course, USA, the States, having the biggest tech companies with global presence, and of course China is coming up. We can identify a lot of global applications of direct services coming from China, even in the social media scheme like the TikTok, and we are lagging behind. That's the fact. Mainly, not just the tech. This is a very sound statistics. Of course, we're not just talking about the tech industry, but you can see that the applications that you use on a daily basis, on a regular basis, are not coming from Europe. We can see that this is another statistic what I just would like to show. The number of patents that, of course, cannot represent the full potential or a full outcome, an R&D outcome of a country. But it's really sound statistic again that China and the States could present more than 2 million of patents in 2022, while this region you can see the amounts and the numbers. That doesn't necessarily mean that all the of course patent will reach the market. That's a long process. That's a process need to be managed and supported. But it's that's the fact we need to take into consideration. That I'm really sad that we just miss Hungary, but the number here, what you cannot identify, is 1,145 patents in the specific year. Okay. How can we solve the competitiveness challenges? So what can be the interfering points? The massive investment, of course, needed. We can identify the numbers that we need to allocate to R&D projects and innovations. It's not just, of course, venture capital fund. That means the full circle of environment is underfinanced in this term. We need to be more focused. Later on, you will see how we can identify the Hungarian focal points, how we can identify the intervention points within the country. And I think what's more important to be able to face the challenge. If, we have seen that in the last week, the leaders of the European Union, Europe, have been participating in a multiple-day meeting in Budapest, and of course the competitiveness on a European level was a very important topic in those conversations. And once we see sorry about the small changes, but okay, I try to comment. So when we see the competitiveness challenges, we were able to react. That's the point. We need to be able to launch instruments like the Hungarian Innovation Agency. We are able to focus the resources, not just the money, but the time, the human capacity, the researchers. And of course, we need to improve the numbers at the end. So what numbers we have now? Of course, we have some benefits. We have the lowest corporate rate in the EU. That's a great supporting factor for the R&D activities. We have dedicated state funding for R&D. That's not unique, but of course, we don't have only the GINOP money, the operational program for which coming from the EU, and of course we have an FDI policy and a strong quadruple-helix activity, which we are going to talk about with our guests. And of course, as I mentioned, focusing the resources, time, energy, money, and human resources is a key, because none of these resources is endless. The focus points, what I just mentioned, the digital transformation, the healthy living, and the green transition. We have a +1, that is the security and safety. We have the Neumann program that has just identified those focus points, and from the national or from the international EU funds need to be focused on these 3 focus points, and we need to be able to support these kind of projects. They need to be able to reach the market at the end of the day. The Hungarian Innovation Agency is a part of the ecosystem. You may know the National Research Development and Innovation Office acting as an owner of the National Innovation Agency, the Hungarian Innovation Agency, and since the NRDI office is acting as a funding agency, we're acting as a supporting professional one. You can see the ecosystem and the structure of the renewed Hungarian innovation ecosystem. You see that the levels we have identified and continuously trying to identify the healthy interventional level of the state, because we believe that the state has a really strong, has to be really strong presence in the R&D ecosystem. But of course, there are some tasks that the market needs to handle. You can see that in the middle in the supporters group, we have the National R&D Office and the Hungarian Innovation Agency. We have the Research Council. And you can see that how the R&D policy is being built up by these elements. What is more important is that the previously mentioned Neumann programs has 3 points that the full strategy is built on. The association, the closer collaboration between universities, research institutions, and the economic. We have a small modification in the approach in the last year. Previously, the R&D project mainly focused on the TRL, the technological readiness level, and the market readiness, the customer readiness level was not so preferred, wasn't so highlighted in the previous programs, but after that modification, the TRL level is of the same importance that this business readiness or the customer readiness level. So we are a little bit, we took a step closer towards the venture capital approach. We really need to believe, and the companies need to be able to present how the service or the product will reach the right buyer persona in the right market. They need to be able to present the competitors, and therefore a little bit new and maybe higher quality activity just happened in the last couple of years, because R&D activity is not a large polar activity. And at the end of the day, we need to be able to present revenues, we need to be able to growth, and we need to be able to hit the right buyers. So the impact is all about the market impact at the end of the day, and the measurement. Of course, we need to be able to follow every impact in numbers of the interventions we made. Okay, just a short mission of the Innovation Agency. So we try to support the entrepreneurs and the researchers. At the same time, we are acting as a link, as a hub in the quadruple-helix, hopefully. And of course, we try to facilitate the innovative companies and startups. We need to have more startups and more successful startups at the same time. It's really important to have more and more companies that are built on some innovations. According to the numbers, just 1 out of 3 companies in Hungary doing innovation. The target is that 1 out of every 2 companies should do it. So raise the percentage of 33, 34 to 15. That's a global, that's a national level mission. And of course, the visibility is also important, because we need to be able to sell ourselves or product or service to the world. Or target or aim or goal is not just to be world famous in Hungary, but really, be able to get revenue globally. So the National Innovation Agency trying to cover the full scope, life cycle thinking, what we try to implement, and of course international level, especially at the startups that must think and plan and design their product and service globally from the scratch. We have a portfolio we try to cover with different services. You can see that I represent the corporate services, where where we have the direct contact with the companies and startups. But of course, we have educational services. We have the Hungarian Startup University program, technology services. We have an expand program that helps the global presence of the companies and the innovation products and services. We have an ecosystem analytic group, and of course, a communication and PR group. And what is more important, and where our two guests is coming from, the renewed territorial innovation platform. And I would like to invite our two guests, Professor Dr. Csaba Deák from Northern Hungary, and Professor Dr. Zoltán Kónya from Southern Plain Hungary, for a small discussion about how we could imagine the interventions of the regional innovation ecosystem, and what is the personal opinions and plans regarding this. Thank you for your attention. My very first question, since you are deeply involved in every part of the quadruple-helix, since you are coming from university scientific world, but strongly involved in the market as well, so the education, the market, and of course the governmental part also represented by you. What is your experience regarding the very complex situation, not just in Europe, but for Hungary, how we can interfere in the regional R&D activity, and how you can personally see the main interventional points in the regional R&D activity. Csaba?
Oh, we jumped into deep water immediately. So before we are moving to answer this question, let me introduce my region and my home. So I'm from the northern east part of Hungary. You can see Aster, right Aster. And the central, the hub of this region, not this region, Basque country, Borsod-Baden-Württemberg country, where I'm living, where we are working, is Miskolc. The county has about 620,000 habitants, residents. And if just very brief history, industrial history of this region, before 1990 it was the heavy industry center of Hungary, this region and my hometown, Miskolc. And after 1990, after the political and economic change, 34 years ago, everything collapsed. Everything collapsed because the industrial structure changed, especially the metallurgical industry, which was the basis of our power. The biggest company had at that time 16,000 employees, and now 0 employees, so it's absolutely bankruptcy. And not only this company, but most of the companies at that time went to the bankruptcy. So we have to rebuild the industry in this region and in this country. And I have to say that it was a success story in the last 10, 15 years. Because we have in the county 40,000 companies, enterprises. I think this is the largest countryside if we are looking for the different countries outside of Budapest. Hungary is very centralized, so R&D and the capital and everything is focused or centralized in Budapest, so you can find not just 20% that the inhabitants, but higher percentage. And the large companies arrived. The biggest company in the town is Robert Bosch with automotive and power tools units. In the region, we can find a heavy chemical center of Hungary. The Borsod-Chem is one of the largest Chinese investment in Central Europe. It's a chemical company, belong to the Wanhua. The more petrochemical companies in the region as well. So we are very strong with large companies. There is a double face in the industry because we have a lot of SMEs. Maybe the reason of that, this special structure is that the foreign investment arrived late to our region compared with the western part of Hungary, and who wanted to stay in our region without job, without potential multinational companies job, we had to be very creative. So I think the SMEs are very creative, and the people in our region are very creative because they had to survive the 90s and the first part of the 2000 years. So double faces, we have very strong rich SMEs in the region. We have large companies already as well. We are one of the strongest industrial region in Hungary again. But double faces in the society as well because we have rich guys and the poverty is very high in our region as well. So double faces in every time. Back to the question that what we can do. For our region is one of the most important to keep the talents in the region or bring back them. Because without them we can be just a workflow or workshop, and the productivity of the SMEs is less than the large companies in our region as well, so we have to improve their performance. Even they are strong in Hungarian level, but the competitiveness, international competitiveness, it's a question mark. And from the other hand, not just keep the talents, but for the SMEs need talents as well, need information. When we are speaking about the digitalization, we are speaking about the AI, we are speaking about the productivity. The Hungarian productivity data of the SMEs, it's terrible. So the micro companies in Hungary give 43% of the productivity of the large companies. The medium-sized companies make 73%, so we have job to improve them productivity, and we have job, we have to work on the motivation of innovation as well, because they haven't got time, they haven't got information, they haven't got money for to be innovative. But this is the basis of the competitiveness of them.
Thank you. Professor Dr. Kónya is really familiar with the connection between the scientific and the economic part, since he received one of the most prestigious innovation award thanks to the industrial application of nanocomposites. How do you see the current situation? What can be the role of the state in this case? What interventions should be taken? What were the best practices that need to be continued? And what new interventions would you see, would you suggest, would you think good for the region?
Thank you very much. Just a small introduction as Professor Deák did. University of Szeged is on the southern part of Hungary, and actually we are not only the center of these three counties, but you know, the whole region, including Serbia here and Romania there. So I mean that it's a huge region, and we are in the center of the region, and kind of opposite to Miskolc, this is an agricultural region. So I mean that we don't have too much large industries. It is changing, but I will tell you more about this. So we have not too many SMEs, very few larger companies, and on the other side, the University of Szeged is one of the best, if not the best, research university of Hungary. So this is a kind of, let's say, fighting with the companies. because most of the innovation is at the university and not in the companies. It's a kind of strange situation. So actually, this kind of territorial innovation platform can help us to bring together the two parts, the academia and the institute, the companies. As a material scientist myself, I am as a material scientist. My opinion is rather logical and not following the rules most of the time. So if I don't understand the rules, then I cannot follow it because it's not logical for me. So I had to understand why the territorial innovation platform was built by the office and what's the aim of this kind of innovation platform. After I think it's 4 years or 5 years ago, we started the whole process, something like that. And I can tell you that it starts working. So I mean that, of course, every university has the companies around it, either from the ex-students, either from the ex-researchers, or just building companies because the university of there. But as I mentioned, that in Szeged it's not easy because there were no large companies, so there was no an anchor company to control the region. Now it's changing. So the BYD started to build one of the biggest factory in Europe, actually, close to Szeged. So actually, with this tip, we have to kind of move into the direction of car or automotive industry. And with this innovation platform, it's much easier because we are moving together. So this is kind of advantage that this innovation platform exists. On the other hand, it was shown that there is a life cycle of the office, the life cycle of innovation for SMEs, and then how the innovation can go really far from the idea itself. And I have a quite strict opinion about this, that the basic problem in Hungary is the education. So I mean, there is this stupid joke, sorry for the joke, that can you play on guitar? No. And if I give you $100, this is kind of the similar situation. I mean, that if we, in the education, really in the low-level education, I mean, at primary schools or even below, we have to somehow show the kids how the group work is working, that they should work in groups. In the Hungarian education, we are giving for the kids kind of static knowledge. So they have to learn something and they have to give it back. This is a static knowledge. In 2024, it's not useless, but we should move forward further a bit, because the kids can find everything on the computer or on the phone. So I mean that if you want to teach the kids that where was the first gun made in China or something, they just 15 seconds and they can find it. They should learn how to put together things. This is kind of group work, let's say, for example. But if you start this kind of education at the universities, then it will not work. And this is kind of negative, my negative feeling that we should go down really to even, this is my personal opinion, to kindergarten, to show the kids that how to work in groups.
I can strongly agree, because the innovation cannot just be detected via innovative products and services, but processes as well. The government just launched a program that can support more than 2,000 SMEs, mainly small companies, but not support the development of a service or a product. We need to a little bit, how can I say, comment this kind of call, because what kind of innovation call but doesn't support any development of a service or a product, but it supports the innovation of the processes. and we need to translate the innovation. I think, teaching and educating the actors in the region shouldn't be necessarily started by explaining what kind of services or products need to develop, but small changes could be enough. If you can produce cheaper, faster, safer way, with less manual activity, that is innovation regardless your original intention. So we try to establish that part of thinking. If you improve your process, that probably will be an innovation. And that's the way how you shouldn't stop thinking of how you can be better, be more active, be more efficient, more safe, quicker, because that's going to be innovation. And this is as simple as it.
Definitely, this is a very, very important point, actually. So, as a vice-rector, I am responsible for science and innovation at the University of Szeged, and it was at least 2 years to teach the researchers that the innovation is not only the computers or the wheel or something, but the processes as well. And they have to understand, the researchers and teachers have to understand that sometimes it's even more important than the wheel itself. The University of Szeged has 4 legs, actually: the research, education, the third mission, and healthcare, because we have the clinics. And for example, in the healthcare, most of the time the innovation is just as incremental innovation, a bit more patient, shorter waiting time, and so on and so on. And this is most important for the society than just finding a new MRI or something.
I've been invited last week in one of the biggest automotive associations even, and they are always talking about the suppliers. Of course, if they want to be better, cheaper, faster, they need to improve their suppliers, tier 1, tier 2. That's all about processes, because they don't produce a full car, of course, but just a small part of the end product, and that assumes that they need to improve the processes. That's it. And this kind of activities, this kind of intervention points, not just communicate, but supports providing non-refundable funds. Like in this case, the companies can have around 120k euros to improve their processes, not just for production, but even for sales and marketing as well.
Just to the question, to the process innovation grant. So I appreciate absolutely these new challenges, and basically also in the Oslo manual you can find 2 kinds of innovation: product service innovation and process innovation. And we are forgetting very often that not just product service innovation is existing in the world, and sometimes the product or the business model innovation give more results for us. So there are some period in the industries when the product innovation is very important, product service innovation, based on the new technologies, based on the new opportunities which are given by the technologies. And when the technologies development slowing down, the process innovation has a huge role for competitiveness of the companies, and this is the answer for the SMEs, what I mentioned in the first question. So, just I remember that Gassmann is a Swiss consultant researcher. He created the St. Gallen models, so different kind of, or he collected the St. Gallen business models. He mentioned that if you find a better business model, maybe you can get much more results with a new product. So I don't want to say that the product innovation and service innovation is not important, but sometimes the process innovation give more for the competitiveness of the companies that in that time some product innovation.
I did personally love those kind of confused questions that the future SMEs asked me, what kind of call is this? It doesn't support any service and product innovation, because that's a proof that this kind of intervention was successful, because the mindset a little bit changed, and you know, that was the original goal, to highlight the importance of the process innovation.
And for me, it's another question. Is a question in this grant. So yes, it's not tangible, the final end for the first point of view. How we can measure the success of the project. So this is what are the key elements? What could be the KPIs, which is measurable for this grant?
Of course, measuring the innovation is another topic, which is also an intervention in the mindset, because to be able to answer what impact this kind of call for proposal can cause assumes that you know your basic numbers, your base numbers, because it's really simple. If your production time was X, and after the innovation was X minus 10, that's the impact, and you can transfer it to productivity, revenue, extra margin, whatever. My last question, because time is running and time is up, how do you imagine in the next couple of years, not just on regional level, but on national level, how we can improve, and what are, again, the main intervention points? Just one. Maybe you already answered this, because communication and changing the mindset should be or could be the base of everything. But what practical intervention point you would pick for the next 3 years?
For me, actually, the most important point is that the territorial innovation platforms should be able to not control, but give advices to the office. I mean, what kind of projects we should work on, these kind of things. It is very important. That because if I'm just going there and saying that I can tell you what is on the website of the office, then it's nothing. I'm just in the following mode. I should be in the leading mode.
I will answer my own questions after.
In one word, it's very difficult, maybe in 4 words, so 1 + 3 words. One is that motivation from the company level, and 3 other words, information, time, and money for them.
I think there is no bad answer. My interpretation is that the platform should be as close to the SMEs and the future startups as possible. We need to be able to read their minds, read their needs. We need to be able to measure the impacts of the interventions we just made. So try to be as close to the SMEs as possible, because that's the only way to be effective as a state regulator, supporter, or a consultancy company like the Innovation Agency. That's my point of view, and I'm really curious about the next years. And I think if the buyer personas, the SMEs and the startups will feel that they wouldn't let alone, and they really feel that the impacts, the needs will meet the interventions, I think it can be, and it will be a successful activity and successful intervention. That's my point of view. Thank you for the conversation, gentlemen, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.